program is the Active Center.
So, how do you build a brand new downtown, pretty much from scratch? Well, if you're in Anaheim, California, the answer seems to be a $4 billion vision called OC Vibe. We're going to break down how this absolutely massive project is trying to completely transform the future of Orange County. Okay, let's just start with the number that defines this whole thing. $4 billion. That's billion with a B. A price tag that huge tells you right away this is not just another shopping center. This is a plan to literally reshape a city. And behind a number that big, there has to be a pretty big vision. The CEO of OC Vibe, Bill Foltz, he put it really simply. The goal here is to give Orange County the downtown they deserve. Basically, a central, exciting hub that you could argue it's never really had before. So, what does this new downtown actually look like? Well, picture this. 100 acres of land. Right now, it's mostly just parking lots, all surrounding the Honda Center, where the Anaheim Ducks play. The plan is to transform all of that into a brand new, walkable district. And we're not just talking about an entertainment complex, it's really designed to be a complete ecosystem. I mean, think new parks, tons of restaurants and shops, a couple of hotels, and this is a huge part, 1,500 new homes. The whole thing is going to be connected with the Honda Center on one side and the big Arctic Transit Station on the other. Okay, so a $4 billion price tag, that immediately brings up a pretty important question, especially if you live there. So let's follow the money and see exactly where all this funding is coming from. This is always the bottom line question, right? Anytime a project this big gets announced, people want to know, are my tax dollars on the hook for this? And in this case, the way it's structured is actually pretty interesting. So here's the breakdown. That entire $4 billion construction cost, that's all being covered by private investment from the Samueli family. They own the Anaheim Ducks. Now, the city is contributing $400 million, but, and this is the most important part, it's through city-issued bonds, not from the general fund that pays for things like police and libraries. And this is really the crucial point to understand. Those bonds are specifically designed to be paid back using money generated by the Honda Center itself. So the project's own revenue stream is what secures the debt. That's how they shield Anaheim's general fund and, by extension, the taxpayers from direct financial risk. All right, so if the city isn't on the hook for the construction costs, then what's in it for them? What does Anaheim actually get out of this deal? Let's talk about the payoff for the city and its residents. So what's the big return for the city? The headline number is this: almost $10 million in new revenue for Anaheim's general fund every single year. That's brand new money that can go straight to city services, everything from public safety to parks. And where does that almost $10 million come from? Well, the biggest slice of the pie, almost half of it, comes from hotel taxes, which makes total sense with 2 new hotels in the plan. The rest is a mix of sales tax from all the new stores and restaurants, plus property taxes on the new development. And beyond that direct cash, you've got the huge impact on jobs. We're talking about 10,000 construction jobs just to get this thing built. And then, once it's up and running, the project is expected to support 3,000 permanent jobs, running the hotels, restaurants, and all the venues, year after year. The deal also includes some really significant community benefits. We're talking over $250 million worth. A key piece of this is a commitment to make 15% of all the new homes affordable housing. Plus, you get funding for new public parks and some much-needed upgrades to that Arctic Transit hub. Of course, a development this massive brings up one giant concern for pretty much anyone who has to drive in Southern California. So let's look at how the project plans to tackle what is probably its biggest challenge: traffic. Yeah, let's just be real about it. You can't just add thousands of homes, new venues, and a ton of retail without creating more traffic. It's just a fact. So the big question isn't if there will be more traffic, it's how in the world does the project plan to manage it? So the core of their strategy is this concept called transit-oriented development. The idea is actually pretty simple. You build a whole community that's so well connected to public transit that you don't always need a car to get around. By putting homes, offices, and entertainment right next to a major hub like Arctic, the hope is to make walking, biking, or just hopping on a train the easiest option available. So the approach is really twofold. First, they're leaning hard into that transit-first model by taking full advantage of the Arctic station next door. But second, they're also being realistic. I mean, this is still Southern California. So the plan also includes building nearly 11,000 new parking spaces to manage the cars that are inevitably still going to show up. Okay, so let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture here. We've talked about the cost, we've talked about the benefits, and the big challenges. So, what does this all mean for the future of Anaheim? So, if you remember just three things from all this, make it these. Number one, this is a massive $4 billion privately funded project trying to build a real downtown for Orange County. Two, it's designed to be a financial win for Anaheim, adding millions to the city's budget every year without putting the general fund at risk. And three, it's trying to tackle that monster traffic problem with a modern transit-first strategy. And all of that leaves us with the ultimate question. This whole project is about way more than just new buildings. It's a genuine attempt to create a new center of gravity for an entire county. But will it actually succeed? Will it give Orange County the downtown that its backers believe it deserves? Well, that's a question that only time is going to be able to answer.